have to do, so I'm learning how to be a stand-up, not necessarily a comedian. I tell stories because I'm not worried about jokes. I'm worried about telling about things that have happened in my life, and it's great that I had a lead in. He left.
Tell him that he got his fries over here.
Oh, okay, so he got his food, so he ain't gone. Okay, but yeah, he had talked about kids, and one of the things that I'm doing is telling stories about things that have impacted me in my life, and my child is here. I want to say that I'm happy about that. He's right there. Yes, indeed. Give it up for my child. Yes, indeed. So this show, what I'm going to talk about today is in honor of my child and the greatness that he has bestowed upon me. How many people have kids? How many people have grown kids? All right. Teenagers or grown?
She got them all.
She got one that's 2 and one that's 32. And she did not hit him. That means that she likes him. At least right now. I know it's going to be assault. So when we get in the car, it is on. Noted. But when you have kids and they grow up, there's certain things that happen in their life, and you want to be aware of them when they first walk, when they first talk, when they first come home.
Everybody come on in. Let me talk to y'all about a tire shop that was voted Clarksville's best. Mike's New and Used Tires, located 1114 College Street, Clarksville, Tennessee. And if you're looking for a new tire and we don't have it in stock, hey, got good news. Mike got a one-day turnaround. Amen. Mike don't only changes tires, he changes lives through prayer. And he take time out and walk with the customers through their walk in Christ. Mike's New and Used Tires, located 1114 College Street, Clarksville, Tennessee, where we say, wait, we keep you rolling. Follow us to the cross.
With their first grades from school, and one of the things that I'm going to talk about now is when you find out that your child isn't a virgin anymore, and how that happened with me. And if you don't have kids now, yeah, it's gonna happen. It is going to happen. So get ready for it. Hope you have the right conversations and get the right discussions, because I thought I had the right decisions and the right discussions. We talked about Virginia and how to go safely into Virginia, and even now he knows where to safely travel through Virginia. So when he was venturing out on his own, he left the house, he got his own apartment, but he also got a dog, a little bitty dog. It was a cool dog. Roscoe was a cool dog. And this is sad but true. A couple of years ago, there was a guy here, a couple of miles down the road, that killed his wife and his kids. And my dog was killed by that dude's dog. So, and I can go into that story, but it's not a funny story. So I'm not going to do that. But it was a cool dog, and of course, when your child has a dog, whose dog does it become? It becomes your dog. Yeah. So the dog became my dog, and he was at the house and chilling and everything, and I'm like, fine. My son was at work or doing something because he was grown at the time, and I saw my dog, his dog, my dog, in what was his room, chewing on something. And I'm like, I go in there, he had thrown over the trash can, and he's chewing on stuff, and I'm like, he's gotten something. And so I reach into getting everything cleaned up, and I reach into his mouth, and I'm like, where did he get a balloon from? That is slimy. Yeah. Yeah. That slimy balloon. Yeah. Was how I found out that my son had entered the world of manhood, which, I mean, is unfortunately the double standard. It's a little bit different than if I found the same thing with my little girl. I mean, and I'm sorry that that's the way that things are, but if you found out your daughter had advanced, let's say, by picking up the residue, Yeah, that puts a damper on the birthday, the Christmas gifts. Yeah, so if you don't have children that are there yet, look for that. And it also let me know that
when young athletes are getting ready for the next level, they're getting better at their positions, they're doing coaching outside of their program, they're working diligently to make sure they're impressing that college coach. However, sometimes they don't know about life skills outside of their positions, outside of their sports. And that's no cap, as the kids say. So we've developed Project No Cap. We want young athletes to get ready for that next level, not just at their sport, but at life overall. Project No Cap is a 4-series training where we cover the C, which is communication. It's not just what you say and how you say it. There's a lot more to that. A, your associations. Who do you hang around? Who are you becoming? If you lay down with dogs, you know what happens. Also, if you hang out with 5 geniuses, you'll probably be the 6th. P is your personalization. Do you know you? Are you aware of yourself outside of your sport, outside of your friend circle? And then the other P is preparation, getting ready for that next level, not just with your sport, but in life in general. Project No Cap. We are going to help young adults make sure that they are ready for not just their sport, but for life at the next level. So coaches, ADs, parents, teachers, supporters, let's work together to make sure that our young athletes are ready for life as young adults. And as supporters, there's something special in it for you too.
apparently, although I prepared my son for everything, I did not let him know that those balloons were able to be flushed. But now he knows, and there are no children, so I mean, that's a benefit as well. So I don't know how you're going to learn these things about your children, but you will. And I don't know how much time I have left. Oh, keep going. All right, cool. All right. No rules. All righty. So, who wants to hear some racist things that have been said to me? Yes. All right. So I have a ton of stories. I can just stand up here and talk about all sorts of things, and they're not necessarily crude. Well, they are, but they aren't in the way that I present them. So you see the gray? I am in my 50s, and there was a time in the mid-90s that I worked in. Everybody know where Knoxville is? Gatlinburg. All righty. Great place to go visit. It's in the mountains. It's great. However, you're in the mountains in Tennessee in the 90s. And I worked at a Cracker Barrel in the mountains in Tennessee in the 90s. And although most everybody was okay, of course, there's some people that are older. So in the 90s, Public Enemy, I was real pro-black. I had the medallions. Does anybody know the medallions, the African medallions? Anybody remember those? Oh, my son does, yeah, but yeah. Okay, I'm glad somebody does. But I was very outspoken. And I was good at my job, and that was another thing. Being good at your job, being outspoken, and then being a little darker than the other residents, people don't like that. So I was at the restaurant and I'm working, and this woman, she was a server. She had to be about 107, 108. Yeah. And she kept doing things wrong. And people allowed her to keep doing things wrong because she's that's how Mary is. That's how Mary is. I've never understood that concept. That's how they are. Because that means that you're letting them be wrong, you're letting them offend you, you're letting them do things that they shouldn't do. And that's not right. If I'm doing something that I shouldn't do, I want somebody to say, hey, Damon, don't do that. But everybody let Mary do anything she wanted to do. And of course, being 187, she would do anything she wanted and say anything she wanted. So I'm not standing for that. I'm public enemy, pro-black. You don't know. You ain't talking to me like that. And so she kept doing things wrong, kept doing things wrong. And finally I said, Mary, you need to get this right. It's blah, 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 whatever it was. And she said, Damon, you complained if you was hung with a new rope. And I sat, I mean, no joke, no, that is not a joke. These things I'm saying are not a joke. I mean, I know she's dead now. Just God bless her soul. But, oh, rest her soul. But yeah, she said, you'd complain if you were hung with a new rope. As if I'd be okay with being hung with an old rope. I'm like, is it stretchy more? Is there, I was like, what? You are saying? And I didn't comment, I didn't get upset, I didn't go out because that's what people expected. And then there was another time, last one, there was another time this same server, Mary, again, 203 years old. 90s people, anybody remember the song Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden? Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you? So I was singing that song. I really enjoyed it. And you might look at me and say, really? Black hole sun? Okay. But yeah, I like a whole bunch of different songs. I can sing country as well as hip hop. So I have a range of tastes. So I'm singing Black Hole Sun because it was on MTV at the time. It was stuck in my head. So I go to work and I'm singing it, young 20-something-year-old. And the other people my age are singing. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I just said song. But we didn't know who it was. I'm like, who sings it? I don't know. So finally, for shits and giggles, I say, hey, Mary. Again, she graduated with Jesus. I said, hey, Mary, who sings the song Black Hole Sun? She said, this is no joke. I don't know. It must be one of your kind. In public, it must be one of your kind. And see, again, the whole pro-black, the public enemy, everybody stopped. It's like the restaurant just froze. And everybody looked at me because they thought I was going to do something dramatic. They thought I was going to go all angry black man. And I thought that in my head. And my mother raised me. There's some stories about my mother that I'm going to tell to get those off my chest too. But my mother raised me smart and she raised me right. And I knew that if I were going to go off in the mountains of Gatlinburg or Knoxville in the 90s, I might not make it back home. So I stopped, and she said, I don't know, it must be one of your kind. And I said, a grill cook? And everybody laughed, and they looked at her, and she was red as a beet. She had egg on her face, and that was about the most satisfactory moment I ever had, upsetting and defeating somebody that was clearly racist. So that's my time. I certainly appreciate it. I have a bunch of other stories. And you can ask my son about the dog and the balloon. He's right there. Y'all be safe tonight because it's supposed to be ugly.